Welcome to worship with the community of First Unitarian Church of Omaha. My name is Kira Spooner, and I'll be serving as your worship associate today. Today's service is a philosophical and fantastical journey into the re-acquaintance with the higher self. Whether you're attending online or in person, I'm glad you've chosen to join us for worship. Worship meaning to remember that which is of worth. Thus, we gather together in community weekly to reground ourselves in our highest values. A special welcome to visitors. This congregation is a community of all ages and abilities. It is a community with a rainbow of gender and sexual identities. It is a community of diverse cultural and class backgrounds. We draw from many sources of inspiration and share common liberal religious values. Whoever you may be, we welcome you to bring your whole self into this place. If you are joining us online, I encourage you to create a YouTube account and sign in when you attend. This will allow you to participate in the comments section for joys and concerns and more. You'll be able to subscribe to our channel and share videos you like with others. For those joining in person, you're invited to go downstairs to the common room after service, where coffee and conversation await. Meanwhile, if you are logged onto church Wi-Fi and don't need to be, please put your phone on airplane mode during the service. Before we get to our usual announcements today, I'd like to take a moment to say a warm Happy Father's Day to all the fathers and father figures in the audience, to uncles and grandpas, and anyone who fulfills the role of father, regardless of gender, ties, family structure, or circumstance. Happy Father's Day, everyone. Let's have a round of applause for the dads, yeah. Our first regular announcement today is for our yearly radio ad campaign. Every June, we collect your donations to buy ad spots for First UU on KIOS Omaha Public Radio Station. We aim to connect with anyone seeking a faith community of love, diversity, and rationality. Our ad runs in the primetime news shows and on the weekend quiz and talk shows. Flyers are available in the foyer, and there's information in the e-news. Donations can be put in the collection plate, mailed to the office, or handed to Jean Wagner anytime. Please put KIOS in the check memo line. Thank you. To find out what else is going on this week, you can use the QR code or links in the program, or grab a printed e-newsletter in the foyer. It is appropriate to acknowledge each week that the First Unitarian Church of Omaha occupies the traditional treaty lands of the Omaha and Otto-Missouri tribal nations, whose sovereignty existed long before the state of Nebraska. We would also like to express our respect to the Ponca tribe, the Winnebago tribe, the Santee Sioux tribe, and over 170 other tribes within the Omaha area. And now it is time for the chalice lighting. And Denise Elaine is going to be lighting our chalice today. And if you would join me in saying the chalice lighting words together, printed in your program. Spark of the Spirit, cupped in earth's embrace, light of love, alive in all creation. As we kindle this flame, we rekindle our connection to the sacred web of life.
The call to worship this morning is from Women Who Run with the Wolves. Just a word about nouns and pronouns. For hundreds of years, for centuries, we have been taught that when we say man, it includes woman, of course. Well, today, in these quotes, we're going to reverse that role. From Clarissa Estes. Healthy wolves and healthy women share certain psychic characteristics: keen sensing, playful spirit, and a heightened capacity for devotion. Wolves and women are rational by nature, inquiring, possessed of great endurance and strength. And now, would you join me, please, in the opening hymn, page 298, Wake Now My Senses.
And now I'd like to invite the young and young at heart to come forward for our time for all ages. Today we'll be reading from a book called Maybe by Kobe Yamada, illustrated by Gabriela Barovich. And please, if you're an adult, feel free to come down and be a child right now. Hi there. Do you want to hear a story? Look, that's the book that we're going to read. It's pretty, huh? Technical difficulties. Maybe. A story about the endless potential in all of us. Have you ever wondered why you are here? You are the only you there ever has been or ever will be. You have so much to offer. Maybe you will invent something that no one has ever seen before. Maybe you will build things that reach high into the sky. Your life is yours. Try as many things as you can try. See as much as you can see. Wherever you go, take your hopes, pack your dreams, and never forget it is on journeys that discoveries are made. Maybe you will help others see the beauty in each day. Or maybe you will lift cheering crowds to their feet. Do everything with love. Follow your heart and see where it leads you. Maybe you are here to shine a light into places that have been dark for too long. Maybe you will speak up for those who can't speak for themselves. Maybe you are here to help in ways that only you can. There will be struggles, there will be fears, and it won't be easy. At times, it will feel really hard, and you might make a mess of things. You may fall down. You may fail. But you will also get back up, and you will rise a little stronger and a little taller. Because there really is more inside you than you know. This world needs your gifts, your talents, your big ideas. And maybe you are just getting started. What if you are only scratching the surface of what you can do and who you can be? What if you have talents you haven't discovered yet? There is something powerful, even magical, about you. You already have everything it takes to do big things. Maybe you have no idea just how good you really can be. And maybe you don't know how much you matter. But maybe, just maybe, the world has been waiting centuries for someone exactly like you. One thing is for sure, you are here. And because you are here, anything is possible. The end. Our ushers will now be coming around for the community offering. Half of the loose currency in the plate goes to a nonprofit in our community whose values resonates with our own. Our Share the Plate recipient for June is parents, families, and friends of lesbians and gays, or PFLAG for short. Founded in 1973, PFLAG is the first and largest organization dedicated to supporting, educating, and advocating for LGBTQ plus people and their families.
The offertory music is Heartbeat of the Drum by Jimmy Standing Buffalo. We dedicate this music to fathers present and not present. Yes.
Now we come to the part of our service where we lift up the joys and concerns of our congregation. The first comes from Linda Ruska. She says, John was released from the hospital Wednesday afternoon and his prognosis is good. We are overwhelmed by all the thoughtful gestures by this wonderful congregation. A huge thank you to the many people who have helped in so many ways. You have made this very challenging time easier. Also about Terry Lynn Brewer. We surround Terry Lynn with care as she grieves the loss of a family member. She just learned the news last night and may appreciate extra hugs today. Colin, do you have any other joys and concerns? Okay.
Our centering music is by Michael Fitzsimmons, Always Here, played on handpans.
From Women Who Run with Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Go out into the woods. Go out. If you don't go out in the woods, nothing will ever happen, and your life will never begin. The doors of the world of the wild self are few, but precious. If you have a deep scar, that is a door. If you have an old, old story, that is a door. If you love the sky and the water so much that you almost cannot bear it, that is a door. If you yearn for a deeper life, a full life, a sane life, that is a door. Though her soul requires seeing, the culture around her requires sightlessness. If her soul wishes to speak its truth, she is pressured to be silent. In mythos and fairy tales, deities and other great spirits test the hearts of humans by showing up in various forms that disguise their divinity. They show up in robes, rags, silver sashes, or with muddy feet. They show up with skin dark as old wood, or in scales made of rose petals, as a frail child, as a lime old woman, as a man who cannot speak, or as an animal who can. The great powers are testing to see if humans have yet learned to recognize the greatness of souls in all the various forms. So be wild. That is how to clear the river. The river does not flow in polluted. We manage that. The river does not dry up. We block it. If we want to allow it its freedoms, we have to allow our ideational lives to be let loose, to stream, letting anything come, initially censoring nothing. That is creative life. It is made up of divine power and paradox. To create, one must be willing to be stone stupid, to sit on a throne on the top of a jackass and spill rubies from one's mouth. Then the river will flow. Then we can stand in the stream of it raining down.
It says in your order of service that the reading was going to be done by Lita Medisana. She fell ill, not too serious, but she's home today watching on YouTube. So thank you, Elaine. Today's sermon is by Bob Bosco. It's been a real joy to work with Bob in this. We were together in a pulpit writing class, a sermon writing class, there we go. And he was one of the outstanding members of the group. You will be hearing from others sometime this summer. And he has put together a wonderful sermon and service accompanied by his musician friends and my friends as well. Today's sermon, besides featuring Bob, will have a cast of characters, including Zeus, played by myself, the Pegasus Sound by Kyria Spooner, two wise elderly twins, Sarah Voss and Dan Sullivan, and Gaia, played by Judy Younger.
He said it well. He said, "You're up." Okay, before I talk to you about this journey that we're going to go on, excuse me, I wanted to make some announcements about the coffee hour. Both Michael Fitzsimmons and Jimmy Standing Buffalo will be available for personal conversations. Michael has stories about his songs, A special one is always here. Jimmy has stories behind the artifacts that he brought, one of which is an actual buffalo leg bone. There will also be a game available to play, mythology trivia flashcards. Greek, Egyptian, African, and Chinese mythology are a part of this game. So that's downstairs in the common room afterwards. And now, what I like to call the 3 opportunities. This is a tale about a friend of mine. His name is Achilles. And one fine spring day, he went for a walk in the forest of possibilities. Chapter 1, the self. I, Achilles, love to walk the path of my life in the forest. However, the path is narrow, and I must straddle it with both legs. There are briar patches along the way, here and there, so I remain vulnerable and must be alert. The thorns could scratch my ankles. Every step is a conscious experience. My left foot comes down firmly on the physical ground, while my right foot somehow settles lightly upon the eternal. Over and over as I walk, one step is fleeting, the other is lasting. After many steps in this dual manner, ahead and before me on this path lies a box. I stop. I notice its exterior is quite commonplace. Not being moved to investigate, I shrug. Then I step over the box and continue on my aimless stroll. Soon, out of the sky of opportunities, a bolt of lightning is released. Its loud, luminous streaking descends as a flash, only to jab me in the skull. I am knocked on the ground, shaking from this encounter. As I stand, I hear these thunderous words from above.
Some call me Zeus, the springboard for thunder and lightning. Today, Achilles, I have given you a spark of clarity. Use it well, my friend.
As I look up, I see a formation of dark, swollen, rolling clouds, suggesting the body of a mighty king and his scepter, the ornamental staff of discernment. In the next instant, there are only anonymous cloud forms. The mirage of the king disappears. With no cosmic intentions of my own, I launch a whisper into the air. The miraculous wonders of each day come gift-wrapped, only in plain, dull tissue. This realization is now a part of me. As I continue walking, eventually I come upon another box on my path, identical to the one before. This time I hesitate longer, staring at what is before me. Suddenly, I know. I bend over, pick up the box, rip off the simple tissues, flip open the top, and reach in and lift out the contents with both hands, letting the empty box float to the ground. My hands caress an indescribable array of the magical marvel of every single moment of daily existence. I hold it high and glare into its core and howl. Behold, I see you. As I speak, a swirl of rainbows surrounds me. The muscles in my neck soften. My throat opens. My face is aglow. My whole body seems weightless. I am overcome with gratefulness. I release the collection of magical moments and I collapse to the ground. Through moist eyes, I proclaim. I can breathe. I can move. I can love. These simple things are each a magical marvel, a miraculous wonder, indeed, gifts freely given. As I right myself to continue my walk, each step, right and left, becomes both physical and transcendent. My ankles are scarred a bit, but for now, I am whole. I am more complete. I am both temporal and timeless, and I remain alert. Chapter 2, The Other. I, Achilles, continue to walk the path of my life. As I progress, the path gets a touch wider every few yards. The briar patches grow and curl farther inward along the path's borders. The thorns remain threatening. I am alert, yet my whole face smiles from the temporary contentment of my new understanding. This fine spring day is quite sunny, so the shadow that is suddenly cast upon me is unsettling. This dark area becomes a silhouette that moves at first over me and then in front. I become enlivened by a powerful breeze surrounding me. The source of this black veil of space lowers itself to the ground directly in front of me. I hear the wild fluttering of animal lips. Then, as my eyes focus, I confront a majestic stallion with a shimmering golden body, vast outspread wings, and a wind-swept mane. As the rippling wings settle, the air around me comes to rest. The moist flaring nostrils, the tight bulging muscles, and the coarse furry hide have an enchanting physical presence. Yet, I realize this is a solemn encounter. I believe this luminescent creature has come to offer the second opportunity. As our eyes engage, human to animal, the palms of my hands face each other, defining the cubic foot of engorged space. These words tumble out from my subconscious. I know you. Your name is Pegasus. You take people beyond their ordinary lives. Here, between my hands, these are my gifts, my talents, my offerings. Take me where I can participate in the advancement of humanity. This will be my thank you. The giant equine rears up on his hind legs, lets out a vigorous neigh, with a wet sputtering into space. Front legs flail with determination as he crashes down with a thump. Thank you. Dust flies, and he swirls his lengthy torso for me to mount. We two trot cautiously at first, then escalate into a full gallop. I hold his mane and neck with hope in my tight grasp. We turn down many paths along the way. After a while, Pegasus slows to a saunter. His wings retract. His hide turns earthy brown. The path of dirt transforms into gravel, then into a cobblestone roadway. The clippity-clop of hoofs on stone mimics the tick-tocking of an ancient grandfather clock. Its pendulum swings between yesterday and tomorrow. Between yesterday and tomorrow. For today, we arrive at a village many people know about. Here, fanciful children, young mischievous adults, thriving middle-aged folks, and the wise elderly ones all coexist. They are concerned with each other's welfare. They are committed to an undying creativity in any form. I dismount and face Pegasus. I bow in appreciation. The horse snorts in acknowledgement. We do our separate ways. I turn to the people, and then I know this place is my free will manifested. I scan the area. There are dozens of buildings of brick and wood. I notice an array of paths that lead to mysterious places. There are fully grown briar patches along the many paths. These growths may score a person's lower leg or even damage a tendon if one is not alert. As I turn, two of the wise elderly ones approach. They are identical twins, brother and sister. They face me and talk in unison.
Welcome, Achilles. We are expecting you.
Their cheeks are hollow, their skin wrinkled, their hair is wiry and thinning. Their bony hands reach out for my hands. We shake our 6 hands slowly to the rhythm of our common breath. I gaze into their deep-set eyes and see the lessons of a lifetime buried in their dark moistness. After the silence, our hands release, and they ask a question.
Achilles,
what is your purpose?
My purpose. Well, not having a conclusive response at the ready, I explain my entire journey to this pair. In response, they comment, alternating.
each person here is governed by a unique time frame.
Some arrive as infants with all the understanding they need.
For many, their pursuit is brief, acquiring their knowledge in their teens or 20s.
For still others, it may take any number of decades.
Then, for a few, like ourselves, it takes a lifetime.
We are virtually ageless and have only just arrived.
But for all of us, once we are here, we understand and we thrive.
For many days, I and all the other human beings eat, work, and play together. The many talents and gifts that I offer enrich the lives of these others in many ways. In turn, their gifts and talents enrich my life as well. Now I understand. This is my tribute, my thank you for the miraculous wonders, all the simple gifts of existence. I may very well spend the rest of my life with these people, exchanging who we are becoming over and over. Chapter 3, The World. After several months, I am restless. The many paths are enticing. I choose one to enter. The thorns of the briar patches are higher now and overflow upon the paths. even more aggressively, yet I continue to walk into the unknown, being extra alert. Eventually, I hear a grumbling from below. It is a visceral sound coming from our planet's core. Then several yards ahead of me, the ground bulges and splits as a massive organic bulk arises. As it elevates, it grows larger. It consists of plants and roots and chunks of dirt, along with pebbles, worms, and all types of insects. It swells even more and finally opens to reveal a single, pristine, living being. It is a beautiful, pregnant woman, twice my height. As she turns to me, she extends her arms with the palms of her hands face up and says,
I am the third opportunity. Some call me Gaia. I am Mother Earth. I am here to ask that you attend to me. I have adorned you and all your friends for eons, bestowing my gifts freely. Now I am asking for an extended gesture of tenderness, because I am ill and the infant of my womb is vulnerable.
I approach her protruding abdomen. It is rotund. The skin is stretched firmly around the new growth inside. Her whole body is draped with flowery garlands. These growths are shiny, bright, and green. Many flowering buds are ready to burst, just like the growing fetus inside her womb. She is a vision of wonder and glory and newness. But though her face sparkles, there is a hint of forlorn dread seen at the corners of her mouth and in the subtle furrow of her brow. She knows apathy and distraction. Allow the briar patches to swell and its thorns to project to a dangerous level. Apathy means you stop caring. Distraction means demonic people misdirect your focus. Distraction means demonic people misdirect your focus. This can be a severe threat to all the path workers. We converse enthusiastically at first, but fruitlessness of talking is realized. In a moment, Gaia, Mother Earth, bows her head and begins to slowly sink back into the ground. The core of the earth awaits. She leaves me with these final words as she descends.
Achilles, simply love me. Then do what you will. Yes, simply love me.
All the plants, dirt, and creatures submerge with her. The flat surface of the ground returns as it was before. Yet her words stay. These words resound beyond this space. Anyone can hear the echo of her request, her plea, anywhere, anytime. Remain calm and regard your surroundings. Gaia's plea bounces from tree to tree in the forest. It leaps over the mountain peaks. It scoops up from the depths of the valleys. It sails over the oceans on the winds of hope. Then, my friends, let it seep into the marrow of your bones. Knowing all this, I collapse. I lie on the ground prostrate. I raise my head with tears streaming to speak loud and clear. I have understanding of self. I have a way to say thank you through other. And I have a mission in the world. I embrace the words of Mother Earth, and I remain ever alert. So, now, my friends, Achilles has offered you his story. Do with it what you must.
Closing words. As with any descent to the unconscious, there comes a time when one simply hopes for the best, pinches one's nose, and jumps into the abyss. If this were not so, we would not have needed to create the words hero, heroine, hero, or courage. The closing music, again by Michael Fitzsimmons, on handpans, is Celebration. Thank you, Michael. Fitzsimmons, Standing Buffalo, and Judy Younger was on the drums. So again, thank you very much. And one more round for Bob for putting together the sermon and service. Bob, take a bow. Again, you're invited to join us for coffee and conversation in the common room. That was so great. Cheers, brother. That was so